Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Weekly Crop. What we're talking about today is this contraption. It is the Triad-Orbit modular stand system. When we first got this in a couple weeks ago, it caused a lot of interest from a lot of people walking in the door, the staff included, and we were looking at this and thinking, this is a really cool system, but really curious about the applications. Who would use this? And sort of getting a chance to play with it a little bit, you can really start to see how incredibly designed this application is. So much so that they've actually gotten the interest from some pretty big companies to partner with them in creating adaptability for their products. So Rotolite being one of them, 9 Solutions, a grip company, being another one, and there's a whole host of other companies that are really interested in working with Triad-Orbit to create modular systems for their products. So what I want to talk about is what this is. So imagine a professional microphone stand, but given a lot more beef, a lot more durability, a lot more strength, and modularity. And when Triad-Orbit created that, they started to see people adapting it for video use, not just in studio use. And so what you're seeing here is sort of what we would like to call maybe like a blogger's kit, for example. So this is a really cool device. It's all modular pieces, so every piece can be pulled apart with what's called I/O couplers, so in-out couplers. And so you can have sort of your camera here, you can have your microphone, you can have your Rotolite or any other light that, like an LED light that you can power up on there. And then you have your computer stand. The computer stand is, again, fully modular, and you can have braces for the laptop as well as any of your hard drives. And then each sort of hole within here is basically a 3/8/16 screw mount. So everything within here as well can be adapted and used. And the real advantage is once you have a setup like this, for example, you can put casters on the actual stand itself and just simply roll it around. So great applications if you are shooting at trade shows, for example, or exhibitions, conventions, that type of thing, and you're going from booth to booth, and you're having, and you're just a one-man band. This is an incredible one-man band solution because basically I just pull it up and I hit record, turn the light on, and then go for it, right? And I done, move it over to the next one. So that's really, really cool, and then we can just adapt as we need. The ball heads are particularly strong as well on this. There's some smaller ball heads as well as some larger ones. And you could, even if you really wanted to, put a fluid head on top here, like a sort of a more lightweight DSLR fluid head, and have full fluid head capabilities. So what I want to do is as well show you how the system adapts and how it could be really beneficial for folks with sort of small web-based studios. So if you do a lot of online content, digital content, and you have a small little tiny studio, how this system can really maximize the space you have and allow you to put in a lot of really cool features within that. So first I want to show you the modularity, and the whole system is based off of couplers. And they have a whole host of couplers. So I'm just going to grab them here. And so it's a basic sort of, I guess that's hexagon. Is there 6 sides to that? There seems to be 6 sides. So it's a hex key type deal. But it works off of a press fit with a backup of a bearing. So the press fit is patented. It works incredibly well. And simply, it's just an in-out system. So I'll just show you here. You've got the hexagon, and it just pops in like that, and then releases. But it's super, super strong. And then when it comes to, they have these wall mounts. For example, you can mount speaker systems, you can mount microphones, lights, all sorts of things. And with that one, then you can use, again, it works off the same patented press fit system like this, but it does have a catch for bearings just in case, just as sort of a safety, for example. All of the couplers, you can have sort of 2 male couplers like this. You can have a variety of other things. They have like things like a GoPro mount. They have, I mean, everything that you can ever think of, a 1/4-20, 3/8/16, 5/8. So for microphones, you've got your sort of what I call as sort of the photo baby pin. It's like the baby pin with a 1/4-20. Then you actually have the proper 750 baby pin here as well. And you have, what else do we got in this cornucopia of products? You've got just a whole host of other adapters. When we move back over to this system, I'm just going to show you how basically everything, again, is fully adaptable. So you've got these arms as well. I think first I'll take that off first. Okay, so let's take our light off. And then there we go. Okay. So then you have also individual extension arms. And they have this great little sort of cord keeper. So if you're running cables, you can keep the cables all neat and tidy behind this. And you can, again, just keep extending them out. So you can have exceptionally long ones. And the system is so sort of beefy and bottom heavy. We do have some sandbags on the bottom here that they come with, that you can buy. But even the system on its own without the sandbags is incredibly robust for a lot of extended weight. And I think a lot of this system was sort of built upon that concept. So we can, keep building these and extending them out sort of like Lego, if you will, and adapt to any sort of boom system that we want. Keeping in mind this was originally designed for microphones, but has the weight to hold some small lights and a variety of other accessories as well. So we have this, and I can, basically do whatever I want. So say I want a GoPro mount here now. There goes my GoPro mount, right? And it's on this ball head here. Let's see here. We can remove this guy, and I'll just give you a second here to show you. We've got the mount here, but the ball heads. This is sort of their robust ball head, and give you a sense of how robust this is. It's super large, and you've got a number of sort of notches in terms of your angles. So you've sort of got your 50 degree or your 90 degree angle there. You've got sort of like I would say maybe like a 50 degree angle there, 50 to 60 degree angle, and then you can mount basically to the notched top here. And super easy to tighten down, and takes a massive amount of weight to actually move. I actually tested this. I did a bit of leverage on it, and I was really surprised at like how much body weight it could take for me to move it. So if I just toss this in here and make sure that that's snugged up, it takes a pretty massive amount of leverage for me to get any movement off that. So if you're placing a camera system or an LED light panel, for example, even with this extension arm on a ball head, you could probably fly a fairly lightweight, moderate 1x1 panel, for example, far out in a completely horizontal position. Obviously, you're probably not going to do that with a light, but I think that the opportunity is here for you to be able to do that. So it's a great system, that. Then there's a bunch of other modular things, like this sort of coupler system that has a bunch of threads in here that allow you to do 3/8/16 additions to this whole system. And so the bare bones of it kind of just looks like that, like a sort of a T coupler. And I think the whole point I'm getting with this is that it's basically a matter of your imagination. So whatever system that you can imagine that you need for your mobile setup, for your one-man band setup, for your web studio, for your audio studio, you can do everything with this system with just a host of sort of connecting parts. And one of the real advantages is that you can get these wall mounts, as I talked about earlier, and you can effectively place them all over your studio in, say, equidistant paces away from each other, and then it'll have a full adaptable studio. So you can start putting lights up here, and then maybe you'll put a microphone there, and maybe you're going to have a GoPro here or one camera there, but maybe next week you're going to put some lights here and put the cameras over there. You have full adaptability just with these mount systems, and what you can put into them is endless. So every sort of mount that exists within this system. And then they've been working with 9 Solutions as well, which is sort of a grip accessories company. And so you've got these IOCs, the IOC clamp, super robust, working with 9 Solutions to create that. And then they also have a tablet holder. So fits most popular sizes of tablets, from iPads to all the other manufacturers, of course. So again, another really great solution for bloggers, for YouTubers, that type of thing. Really fantastic, and a fairly affordable system as well. So that's pretty much it for the Triad-Orbit system. Obviously, there's a lot more to it. If you check our website, if you go to Triad-Orbit's website as well, you'll see every conceivable way that you can package these things together. And then I encourage you as well to come into one of the Vistek locations if you're nearby and come and play with it yourself, because I think that's where you're truly going to see the potential of this product, is if you start to just play around with it and realize how quickly you can adapt it, how quickly the systems are to change around and to customize, as well as how robust they are. It's hard to get a sense of how strong this is by just looking at it through a screen. You really have to touch and play with it to get a sense of that. So that's it for this week's Weekly Crop. Until next week, have fun and happy shooting.